Hey, everybody, before we get into this week's episode, we want to remind you that on March 28th from 7 to 9 p.m., we are having a celebration at our studio. You're welcome to come on out. A lot of people reached out to us last week and said they couldn't access the RSVP form, so we have another one. Link in the description of this podcast. If you fill out the first form, no need to fill it out again, but for those of you that couldn't get through, try the new form. Hopefully you get through. We can't wait to see you there.
One more quick thing. We have new merch out. We released new hats and also the Garden State official flag. It's in our store, thegardenstate.com. Go get yours today. Support the show. Support the movement. We appreciate everyone who's already bought one. The store has been going nuts. You might want to grab one.
Yeah, it's been going bonkers, some would say.
All day.
All right, let's get into the episode.
Hey, this is Jersey. You're listening to the Garden State.
You're listening to The Garden State, the only New Jersey podcast that gives you all the news you need to hear this week. My name is Josh Sobo.
My name is Josh Tromick.
And I'm Jimmy Parks.
Hey, everybody, welcome back.
What up?
It's good to be back once more.
Boys, the birds were chirping this morning.
It's spring.
I opened up my windows this morning because it's going to be 73 degrees outside, and just the birds, that sound effect we were talking about a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
You heard that out the windows. It was absolutely electric.
It's a beautiful sound. It's a beautiful feeling.
I think we're past all the winter storms. Mm-hmm. I said we're going to get a March blizzard. It's probably not going to happen, but I'm happy about this weather, boys.
Yeah, no, we officially are through daylight savings time, which means
True.
Sunnier evenings,
Love it.
darker mornings, but it's going to stretch.
It's going to stretch.
But I absolutely love this time of year. My birthday was this weekend, and right around my birthday every year, literally like clockwork, we start to get these crazy warm days, and it's just the air feels a little different, So
It's nice.
it's a good feeling. Spring is a great time of year, and then Easter hits, and then everything kind of starts to change. I feel like.
Wait, to get warmer? What do you mean change?
I just feel like right around Easter, like end of March, early April, things just start to kind of shift.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. Like you're getting ready for summer.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting there, and we survived the winter, which is, what's amazing is I always think when you think of the winter from the outside, like in the middle of summer, you're like, oh, winter's gonna stink. It's the most horrible thought, but it goes pretty quick when you're in it.
Especially if you're getting snowstorms like every other week.
Yeah.
If it's just cold, then it's miserable.
Yeah.
I've really struggled with this since I've graduated college, because when you're in school, you're on such a time schedule through the year because you're looking forward to your breaks. But now, I don't know if it's just because I like my job, but I always feel like it's summer vacation.
Really?
Yeah, it's constant. One time I was talking to someone and
I don't mean to interrupt you. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's just I was talking to someone a few years back and I was like, oh, so what do you guys do in the winter? And they were like, it is the winter. This is right now it's the winter. And I was just oh, I'm not on summer vacation. This is weird. So the temperature changes, but I feel like the year just consistently feels the same now.
Jimmy, I would say that is such a blessing that you feel that way about work. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I would say most people don't feel that way. Most people are miserable when they go to work each day.
Yeah.
Maybe I heard someone said over 50% of people hate their jobs. So you're in a good spot, man. Summer vacation as a kid, I haven't felt that since, unless I'm on vacation, but I'm trying to live that lifestyle you're living.
Do teachers have that same feeling as students? Since they have a summer vacation too, they're looking forward to those 3 months.
100%.
They have to.
That must be so cool. Why didn't we become teachers?
You still can.
I know we talk about teachers a lot.
There's a shortage in New Jersey.
But yeah, isn't that pretty cool? You get to go on a 3-month vacation if you really wanted to.
Yeah, it is pretty wild how that works. I mean, I would love a 3-month summer vacation. I would love to be in, right around Memorial Day weekend going, oh, just a few more weeks.
I had a few teachers who were had summer jobs down the shore where they were waiters or bartenders.
That's sick.
I was like, that's kind of interesting. You're living a double life.
Yeah.
Sort of right? Because you're 9 months out of the year, you're teaching kids, but then 3 months, you're just kind of chilling, partying, and you're a waiter.
They're just, the double life of teachers is always interesting. You always wonder what they're like, not when they're teaching.
I was always blown away by my teachers who were doing that. I'm like, I can't picture you in another setting other than teaching. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's when you see your teacher outside of school, it just doesn't make sense to you.
It's
you're you don't belong
life?
here.
Yeah. You don't sleep in the school. Yeah, it's interesting. But I'm excited for summer. Ditto what you said, Chomik, about the birds this morning. There's a good feeling there. That's why I want to move out to the country. Hear it every morning in the...
Yeah, like mine was mixed with like traffic because I live right next to the train station, but like...
Yeah. The North American Chevy.
I've grown up with a train near me my entire life, so like I'm kind of used to the train. Kind of just mixed in with the bird sounds.
Wait, I could have swore that we were somewhere together sharing a hotel room a few years back, and you had this like noisemaker when you sleep, and it's literally birds and a train going by.
Yeah, I used to have that. Yeah, it was like a train sound effect because I needed a white noise. So I was like, oh, if there's a train setting, let's do it.
Well, I grew up close enough to a train where at night I could hear it. Right around 11 o'clock every night, the horn would blow.
Nice.
And there was this viral TikTok sound about like the nostalgia of like summer of 2006.
Yep.
Yeah. And it was like you're laying in bed on a warm summer night with the window open and there's a train. And I'm like, did everybody have the same experience? Like we all live less than a mile from train tracks. But
it is wild. There's train tracks everywhere.
Yeah. Well, hey, before we move on with anything deeper in the podcast, is there anything notable from your guys' weekends you'd like to talk about? Because I'm not going to force a weekend recap this week. I'm realizing we force it too much.
I was in Mexico.
Really?
Wow.
for a wedding.
How was that?
It was awesome. I went to Cancun. It was beautiful.
What resort?
Dreams.
Ooh,
Fleetwood Mac
fancy.
style.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to take a video of that playing Dreams by Fleetwood Mac because as soon as you walk in, there's this big sign that says Dreams.
Did you dream?
I did not dream.
Oh.
Did not dream. The ocean water was like a bathtub.
Nice.
It was amazing. I met a dog on the beach.
Was it homeless?
I don't know.
A lot of homeless dogs in Mexico.
It was very nice.
I could just see Jimmy like walking around by himself in Mexico and just like finding a dog. Like, Jimmy, you're my friend now.
I swear he's becoming the Kramer of this podcast. He's always on these little Kramer expeditions where he's like, oh, I'm at a wedding in Mexico. Oh, I don't want to say the other things you do because of work and stuff, but you just take these trips where I'm like, what the heck? Are we rollerblading in Venice soon? Like, that's awesome though, Jimmy. I was jealous. You missed my daughter's first birthday party, but I allowed it.
I know. I felt really bad. I was on an airplane at that time. There was a lot of turbulence. I thought I was going down.
That would be, it'd be payback.
Yeah.
From June.
Sobo did it. Sobo provided the turbulence.
I was
But Jimmy did make it back in time for a second birthday party we had.
This is true.
Same day. We had 2 birthday parties in a day. You guys surprised me.
We did. There was a surprise birthday party for Sobo's 30th. And it was awesome because we don't really this doesn't happen every year. Like your wife threw you a surprise birthday party because you just turned 30.
I just turned 30.
And I thought it was awesome. Were you surprised or did you have a hint that we were surprising you?
I had no idea you guys were going to be there. I was genuinely surprised.
I knew what your reaction's going to be. I'm like, Sobo's going to hate this.
No, I like surprises, but I think in the lead up, she made me feel kind of like okay, so you know how like you're surprising someone, you got to kind of keep some mystery about it?
Yep.
She went a little too far, I felt. Like she was really frustrated. Like, I don't want to go to this thing. We're meeting friends for dinner. Like, it was to the point where I was like, why are we going?
Oh, so she was playing the card being like, oh, I don't really want to go.
I was
just
literally
to make it sound real.
On the way there, I was like, why are we going to this? I would have been perfectly...
What was the story? You guys were going on a double date, right?
Yeah, 2 of our one friend got a babysitter. They have a baby about the same age as ours, and they really want to get dinner.
Nice.
Just I guess to celebrate my birthday. And then on the way there, I'm just like, why are we going right now? I was annoyed, and it got me kind of in a bad mood, not going to lie. So I saw you guys, I was like, I wish I don't know. It almost, when you kind of get in a little bit of a mood and you kind of got to break out of it mentally. Because I think I got a little too into it. I was just like a little too into like being annoyed. And then you guys surprised me. I'm like, now I got to be happy. Like,
who was the first person you saw? Or was
my father-in-law? You guys, my father-in-law. Of course. Like, what is Dave doing here?
All the boys had to be there.
Yeah, it was a good time though.
It was so much fun. Yeah, everyone got together.
Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed it, and my daughter's birthday for the listeners is the day before mine. So for forever now, we have joint birthdays.
It's pretty special.
And then I was out of the Garden State because my wife took me upstate New York to Accord, New York.
Accord?
Yeah, she surprised me with a little getaway, and we went to this spot that I'm telling you, it was so fancy. It was like Midsommar.
Like the resort?
Yeah, it was like a Scandinavian cabin retreat. It's called Ines.
Interesting.
Ines, New
It's
York.
very hipster.
Ines, New York. That's how I feel like I should speak when I'm there.
Was it like a cool town?
I mean, Accord, New York is just country. Like it used to be, the place we were at used to be a 280 acre golf course,
Nice.
and they turned it into this beautiful retreat. I don't know if you call it a retreat, not a retreat center, it's like not a hotel, but a resort, I guess. Yeah, it's like a resort,
Wow.
a mountain resort.
What's the golf course now? It's just like fields?
They turned it into 9 holes, so you could still play 9.
Okay.
And it's super beautiful. Yeah, the place is gorgeous. I mean, we stayed in this little cabin, and it was a great getaway for my 30th. And I slept great, man. I slept that mountain
That's
air.
important.
That
Yes.
fresh mountain
Yes.
air. And then we went to New Paltz, New York. I don't know if you guys ever been to New Paltz.
I have.
Wait, Jimmy, question for you. I was trying to figure this out when we were up there. Did we go hiking up in this area? Mohawk Mountain.
Yes.
Where did you take me up there years ago?
So we went to Sam's Point Preserve, I believe.
Is that near
which
Mohawk?
Which is a part of Minnewaska State
Yes,
Park.
Minnewaska.
Okay. They kept
Yeah.
saying you can go to Minnewaska, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
do I know Minnewaska?
Yeah.
And then I said to someone, are there like overlooks, like cliffs?
Yeah, yep.
That's
it.
where we went.
Yep.
Wow. Okay, full
Full
circle.
circle.
Okay. I'm thinking of 2 different times. So we went with Jeremy Kopecky.
Yeah.
So that's the time that I'm thinking of. Yes.
Yes.
So, and then I went a second time. I don't know if you were there. Nate and Jacob went with me in Chomek.
Yeah,
So-
I was with you guys that time.
Yeah,
I think I vlogged it.
probably.
I did too.
That was a great day.
Okay, so that's
Minnewaska is
what
beautiful. That's
I-
a beautiful park.
the whole time I was there, I was like, why do I know Minnewaska?
Mm-hmm.
So it's up past Minnewaska in the country. It was a really, really pretty
It's
area.
beautiful up there.
Upstate New York's interesting. We stopped at a little Filipino food spot for dinner. Random
Nice.
spot. And the food was great. And then the lady comes out and she's like, yeah, we've got nominated for a James Beard Award, which is like a very prestigious food award. I'm like, what is going on? We're in the middle of nowhere. And like, there's just a lot of culture in random spots up there. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
a lot of random cool things to do, cool restaurants where you're like, you're getting an award? Like, and then it kind of made me think to be critical of Jersey, since this is a Jersey podcast and we're talking about upstate New York. Jersey doesn't have that kind of new culture that you have in these areas. Like if you go upstate New York to like New Paltz, or you go to what was the music festival?
Woodstock?
If you go to the actual Woodstock, not where the festival happened, but you go to the actual Woodstock, there are like these little towns with like people making like these artists and like there's stuff happening.
Yeah.
You don't really have that in Jersey, I feel like. We're just like kind of got suburban towns. Like there's not, if you go to most little suburban towns, there's not like a really cool restaurant where you're like, wow, this is, fancy.
That's like my biggest gripe about this area. Like I think we have a lot of restaurants, but there's very few of them that have like character to them.
But at the same time, we're so used to our area, so does it really count? Like we've grown up here our whole entire lives, so are we just numb to it?
No, I legitimately think that you have spots coming in. I mean, I'll just say it. We're talking about like more like hip,
Yeah,
hip kind of eateries where you're like, wow, this spot is like, it belongs on the Lower East Side. I don't think we have a lot of spots like that. We have great eating spots. We have amazing, amazing food.
Yeah.
But you don't have a place where the atmosphere you walk in and you're like, oh, this place is really cool.
Yep, that's exactly what I mean.
I think it's a good market that in the next 10 years will probably change. I think we should do it. We should make a little spot.
Like, do you think like Sunday Motor Co? Like, is that?
Yeah, that's a great example of a spot where you're like, this doesn't belong here. It's just, it's very, it's someone really creatively thought through what this should feel like.
Yep. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe, man. And us millennials, we like the vibe.
It's all about the vibes.
Before we go away from upstate New York, I need you and Shelby to go on a weekend getaway to Lake Placid.
Why is that?
It's beautiful.
Well, yeah, Lake Placid's gorgeous.
It's one of the most beautiful places on the whole East Coast. If you've never been up there, you have to go. I've been trying to go back to Lake Placid for a few years
Is that Vermont?
now. No, it's New York, upstate New York.
Is it nicer than Lake George?
Yes.
You have to go there in the fall when the trees are changing colors.
The mountains are beautiful. Like, you will feel like you're in this little snow globe town, and it's insane.
I'll add it to the list, Jimmy.
You have to do
We'll
it.
do
It's
it.
not that far either. From here, 4.5 hour drive,
That's not bad.
easy.
Okay, good to know.
We should be going every weekend. I don't know if we're not.
Yeah, no problem.
Josh, Jimmy went to Mexico. I went upstate New York. Did you go anywhere this weekend?
I went to a golf simulator.
Oh, that's fun.
It was awesome.
Josh and I have been going live on TikTok Live to sell merch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was so much fun.
We did that twice this week to our viewers. And we get like 100 people that come on just to chat. And
That's awesome.
There's some regulars too. They're just like, yo, I love it when you guys go live. Like, I like just hanging out with you guys. And I was like, wow, we should do that more often.
And it's been a lot of fun. We just package orders. So that's been...
Well, because it's like, I was packaging orders one day. I was like, I'm kind of bored. I'm by myself. Let me go on live. So like 100 people are watching. We're just chilling. And people are like, oh, what are you packaging? I'm like, merch. We have a store. So I told people about the store. And then everyone's like, yo, if I order right now, can you package it for me? I was like, okay, sick. So people just started like ordering things just so I could package it live for them. It's like a thing people like to do. I was like, okay, thanks for the support. This is sick.
We got like 25 orders both nights, which is
crazy.
It's a lot of orders.
We were really kind of overwhelmed because orders just kept coming in. We're like, okay, we're going to package yours. We're going to package yours. And I felt like we were on TV, like some
QVC.
talk. Yeah, QVC.
It was awesome. So
We'll do it more often.
Yeah, you got to let me know next time you're doing it. I'll hang.
we'll get a little hang together.
Yeah, Jimmy, you got a lot of shout outs on there.
Really?
People are like, I'm a Jimmy Parks Ranger 1.
Jimmy Parks Ranger 1.
Whatever that means.
Is that like entry level Jimmy Parks?
Yeah, there's like
Entry
different,
level.
all these like people are just like, I'm Jimmy Parks Ranger something.
It's a subscription tier.
Did someone really say I'm a Jimmy Parks Ranger 1?
They said something like that, like Jimmy Parks Ranger 1 or 3 or something. Like I was like, what?
That's amazing.
Yeah, dude, these people are hardcore.
I love that. All right, well, guys, there's so much happening in New Jersey, and always a lot of news for us to discuss. We can get into it in a second. Any random Jersey thoughts before we go forward? Anything you've been seeing happening just in culture and in the news around you? I had a friend going to Texas this week. They're going to Buc-ee's to do some ops for me.
Nice. Perfect,
They're going
yeah.
to bring back some supplies.
Nice.
We're gonna need that.
Josh,
For research.
you went to Bubba Coos this week. I saw that.
Bubba Coos was awesome.
Pretty good.
First time there, awesome.
Chomik and I were driving around the other day, and we saw some of these pothole repairs that are going on around
We
the
saw
state.
pothole repair going on live.
Wow.
I saw. Like, I also saw another time too. They closed the right lane in the Parkway the other day. I was like midday. I was like, "What's all the construction?"
Did you guys
And I
get
was
an
like,
autograph?
I couldn't stop, bro. I didn't have enough time, but I tried to get a video. It was awesome.
Listen, they said 100,000 potholes. If you didn't listen to last week's episode, 100,000 potholes, over 100,000 are going to be filled this year in New Jersey by the DOT. They've already done, I think it was
90,000?
90-something thousand.
But I've been seeing it all week, so they're definitely on the move.
I want to know how they're counting them.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious, right?
Yeah, it's a little suspicious, but also DOT. Do you guys see when I think it was Sea Isle garbage men went viral?
Yes. Yep.
Was it Sea Isle?
Sea Isle, yep.
There was a TikTok account of these 4 bros working a summer job in Sea Isle. And basically, they would just film themselves picking up the trash, and they would make highlight reels.
Cool.
Did you see this?
I remember you. I think you sent it to me years
Dude.
ago.
They were going so viral, just cleaning up trash, and it looked like the most fun. Like they're up at like 5 a.m, with the
Nice.
boys getting their coffee on the truck, and they're just like they got like eye black on and stuff.
Sick.
Like it was the best vibe, and I feel like they should. If NJDOT really wanted to take over, man, they just need to do better marketing. They need to show that these guys are, packing potholes, make some merch. I think you could change the message and the vision around the potholes in New Jersey in a summer.
I think the thing is, these guys are living those lives. They are living the dream, but they just don't care to show it. Like, why post it online if you're just living in the moment?
Josh, you say things subtly now and again, like they're living the dream.
Yeah.
Talking about the DOT workers filling potholes.
Yeah.
There's many people that would say that's not the dream.
Of course, everyone has their own dream. That's
And
why. Everyone has a different opinion.
I'm beginning to wonder if you're meant to be like a plow driver or like a guy that fills potholes or something there. I think there's something there for the state in your future.
I feel like I've missed the mark. I feel like those are one of those things you got to get started in young.
Okay.
When you have once you're older, no one wants an old bag that just isn't good
An
at
old-
what they do.
Well,
Like, I don't have the training to do all that kind of stuff. I should have gotten into that like when I was 15. But you never know. Crazier
brother.
things have happened.
You can't even work when you're 15. Child labor laws.
Did you just call yourself an old bag?
I mean, I'm not 15.
Guys, here's the reality. Our generation, we're going to work to probably 70. You got to accept it now that you're not going to retire.
Just do what you love.
So-
and you'll work forever and
all
be fine.
these pension jobs were designed around a generation that retired at 55 or 60, our grandfathers.
Yep.
And then they died at 75, 80. We're all going to live to 110. AI is taking over. And I heard yesterday that they say in like the next 5 years, for every year of your life, it's going to be able to almost replace a year, something like
No,
that.
no, God, dude, come on.
So basically,
what are you talking about?
Basically, we're all going to be living to 115 probably. So it's never too late to start a career.
No.
Gary V style.
I don't know if I
35 is the new
wanna live.
25.
I don't want to live until
I don't know if I want to live.
Give me
What's
like
going on
give
on
me
this
like 90.
podcast right
After
now?
90, it kind of gets rough, dude.
Well, not if your quality of life is as a 100-year-old is what an 80-year-old used to be.
I mean, that'd be pretty cool, right?
That's the whole point. Is like your joints are going to be healthier.
Yeah, but they're going to have five chips in you.
No. It's more just like being able to better
Turn you into a robot.
Better analyze you. Like if you do a blood panel, now they can throw it through a machine and it can do a million analyses to go, wow, Josh Chomick,
You eat too much cookies. Cut it out.
Maybe they're going to be able to tell all that stuff, or maybe they'll be able to make vitamins that are hyper specific to you. Like think about all the possibilities with AI. I'm not an AI groupie. Like I think it's going to ruin the world, but also I am hopeful it's going to make health a lot smarter.
Yeah, we just got to hope they do good with it.
Well, if you think about the American healthcare system is kind of a one-size-fits-all Band-Aid. It's like we all go to the checkup. Everybody's checkup is kind of the same, right? And I think that, we're going to get to a point where it's going to be a lot more specified. So, yeah, we might live to 115. And my point with that is it's not too late for you to join the DOT, Josh.
Okay.
So I just want to encourage you there, brother.
Thank you. I think, if all else fails, I'll probably try to maybe go for it. Or if I had a connect on the pod, if someone was just like, yo, Josh, I could hook you up with a good job, that'd be awesome. Just reach out to me.
All right. So, hey, we have some mailbags. You want to open a mailbag up and listen with the listeners?
Oh, yeah. You want to tell the people what the mailbag is real quick?
Yeah. So the mailbag, I thought you meant the actual call. The mailbag is a place where you can call in, leave us a voicemail, and just talk about Jersey. Let us know what you've been. You could say anything. You could give us a tip, like, hey, here's the best restaurant I've ever been to. You could talk about a historic story, like, did you know that Rahway, New Jersey used to be called Spankstown because the mayor spanked his wife in public? True story. You can talk about really anything, and we want to hear about it. You can give us a summer tip. You can give us an invite to your hot air balloon festival you're hosting. Whatever it is, call into the mailbag. The number is
908 67 99 99 3.
Hey guys, this is Mehdi. I'm not sure if you remember. I called a couple months back now. It's been a while. Talking about how I got a new car and how you guys keep releasing wildlife into Sussex County. Yeah, hi. I got the shirt, by the way, you guys sent me. It fits perfect. It's great. Quick little tangent is I was barbecuing for some friends, and they saw me with the Garden State Diner shirt, and they're like, dude, you work at the diner? And I'm like, dude, this place doesn't exist. And I made sure to play the podcast. Regardless, besides living in Sussex County, I also spend most of my time in a different county, Gloucester County, where Glassboro is. And if you guys have left the bill, that is the place where the kid dunked his head in the Heritage pickle jar. First thing is, I know the kid. I'm not going to say his name out of respect. Is it stupid? Absolutely. Was it funny? Yes. But I can just tell you one thing that, if you guys just want entertaining stuff from Jersey on the news, just pay attention to Rowan University. You'll get a ton of great stuff to talk about. Anyway, guys, enjoy the podcast. I love it. Still to this day, I still listen to it every week. I appreciate you guys, and you guys have a good one. All right, bye.
Maddie. So thank you, brother.
One interesting thing there. My brother also reached out to me like, hey, we know
the pickle guy.
We know a family member of the pickle guy if you want to come on the podcast. So like the number of people that have reached out to me like, hey, I'm connected with the pickle guy.
A lot of people know, he's a legend, apparently.
He's a local legend, and we got to do some follow-up there. Maybe we can get him on the podcast. One thing that was interesting that he said in this call was he lives in Sussex County, and he works in Gloucester County.
No, I think he's saying that he goes to Rowan.
No. He said he lives in Sussex County, but he's in Gloucester County a lot. I don't think he said works.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think he goes to college down there.
Okay.
If he's saying Glassboro, son.
I was going to say, because that's quite a commute.
Yeah.
I was in Sussex County this weekend for my daughter's birthday. When she was napping, I had to just keep her asleep. And I started to drive around. I just drove up past, what's the town? Sparta, is it, with the ShopRite and the new development? I drove up past Sparta, and I just started finding random side roads and going through little towns. And when I tell you guys, people of New Jersey, sometimes you don't realize what's actually going on in this state because you go to Sparta, it's a different world.
So
up there.
great.
Oh my goodness. I was up in, Hardyston. Hardyston. You know Hardyston?
I know where it is.
Franklin Borough.
Ogdensburg, good old Ogdensburg.
There's so many cool town
Fire
names up there.
Department.
And some of those little towns up there, you're kind of like, where am I? Not maybe sometimes in a bad way, but not always really in a bad way. It's just different. Up near Hamburg,
Yep.
Germany. Okay. Sussex County's a trip, man. They are living a wild life up there.
With a lot of wildlife.
Yeah.
Remember that one time we were in Sussex County, Josh, and we stopped at a estate sale or something, and we're talking to the older ladies at the table about the Garden State, and like we're like, yeah, we want to move up here. They're like, don't move up here.
Yeah, they were kind of snippy with us.
Yeah, they're just like, yeah, we have enough people up here. Don't keep coming up here.
Yeah, they were kind of nasty. We're like, all right, well then, I don't know. Fine, we won't.
We're like, fine, we will.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool area up there, though. I think the diversity of Jersey is something people don't discuss enough. It is so crazy.
And that's why we're one of the greatest states in America.
Well, if you go an hour from New York, you can be in the boonies.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just you're in the sticks up by Walpack.
So nice.
But you could also drive an hour from New York and be at a beautiful, pristine beach. And that's crazy.
We have everything.
We have it all. So,
Living the dream.
any closing thoughts on that phone call? Anything you wanted to touch on, Josh?
I'm just happy that Mehdi likes his Garden State shirt, and people think it's an actual diner. I've heard that story plenty of times where people are like, do you work at this diner?
Man, that's almost means it's too good of a shirt.
I know. Well, yeah, we said it's going to come. We'll have a diner one day.
Oh, so this is so far out of left field, but I forgot to say when we were talking about our weekends, I met a Garden State listener in Newark Airport this weekend
Nice.
when I was going through customs.
Wow. How was that?
She was great. She said she's met you before, Sobo. Apparently
Really?
she works at the Short Hills Mall,
What store?
Sephora.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was buying Christmas gifts and perfume for myself. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, it was December, and she's from Union County.
Oh.
She was very nice.
Can we just talk about how random that is? Like, you met this girl while shopping at Sephora, and then Jimmy meets her while they're in line at the customs at the airport.
Yeah, it's kind of
The girl is what, right behind you?
Right in front of me.
Dude, what are the odds?
I don't know.
She must have heard your voice
Yeah.
and turned around and be like, wow, I know who you are.
It's wild.
Guys, the recognition thing, and this is not a point of pride in a weird way, just making a statement, because I
Yes.
know you can't talk about this without sounding weird. It's happening so frequently now. I'm like, this Jersey community is getting kind of crazy.
We get recognized. I get recognized multiple times a week now from the podcast.
It happened.
It's wild.
I was
to
at
me.
Short Hills Mall the other day. 3 people stopped me like, "Hey,
Wow.
you're the Jersey news guy." I get all my, and then I was at a dinner 2 nights ago with Danny, and the guy next to me turns around and he goes, "Hey, you're the news guy. I get all my news from you." Everyone always says the same thing. I get all my news from you. I don't, I'm like, wow, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
it's so bizarre.
It's
the reach of
it's an
social
honor.
media, but. With all that in mind,
Thank you to
we're not at
everyone.
retirement status yet, so keep listening, keep telling your friends, because that is the goal with this whole thing, is we're going to retire. All right, let's get into the news for the week. We've talked for quite a while, and there's a
The
lot of
lineup
news.
is our favorite lineup in a while.
Yeah, this is the most well-rounded news lineup. I'm more content with all these stories. There's no filler stories, which, I hate to say it like that, but sometimes we just need to find news that works, and I think these are back-to-back bangers.
Oh, yeah.
All killer, no filler.
Oh, that's the way. That's a good way to say it.
908.
Oh, shoot. I want to give you an explosion.
Oh,
My bad.
All right, first story of the day. Nearly every New Jersey senator just voted to ban TikTok.
Is it just in Jersey or like throughout the country?
No, so we have there was a federal vote in the House of Representatives, and they officially voted a majority to ban TikTok, 352 votes to 65.
Wow.
But we also had, out of New Jersey voters, almost everybody that represents us voted in favor of banning it.
Wow. You actually think TikTok's going to get banned?
I don't know. So let me read you the
We
article.
kind of need TikTok.
For us, it's really nice. No,
Helps us.
Look, so here's what it said. Here's what the article says, and we could talk about this a bit. In a shocking move on the House floor Wednesday, every voting member of New Jersey's congressional delegation voted in favor of banning TikTok. The bill, known as H.R. 7521, calls for a federal ban of the popular app due to privacy concerns. Sponsor of the proposed legislation say that TikTok poses a security risk to everyday Americans because the app is owned by China-based Bitten. As a result, they worry the Chinese government may access the data of Americans who use the app. The bill passed in the United States House on Wednesday with a pretty staggering majority, 352 to 65.
Wow.
As for New Jersey's congressional delegation, 12 voted in favor of the ban. Nobody in New Jersey voted against the ban. The only New Jersey representative in the House who did not vote in favor of the ban was Democrat Andy Kim. Little Andy Kim.
Interesting.
I feel like that would be Trump's nickname for him. Little Andy Kim. He likes TikTok. Kim, who represents the state's 3rd congressional district, did not vote of any kind. Did not vote of any kind.
He just abstained from voting.
Does he have something to do with TikTok?
Well, I'll tell you why. He's running for the Senate seat right now.
Yeah.
So he didn't want to make any bold moves on either side.
True.
So he has already announced his candidacy for upcoming Senate election. Andy Kim's another story. I don't want to get into Andy right now. Let's just call him Andrew. I mean, dude, you're a man. You can go by Andrew Kim. It's okay. But what do you think about this? What do you think about the ban of TikTok?
Like, I feel like we're so deep into TikTok after using it for many, 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 many years now. What are we at, like 4 years on TikTok at least? I think I got into TikTok in 2020. I feel like China has all my information already, right?
Yeah, but that's like a defeatist. I don't know. I see both sides.
Like, I've given
of this.
up. I'm just like, sure. At this point,
Dude,
you have my information. Also, like, TikTok is a huge factor in why we have some success on the Garden State. So that's also part of me. I'm kind of being a little selfish where I'm like, I kind of like how we have another platform to build our brand. So that's why I want to keep TikTok.
I see both sides of the arguments with TikTok. On the pro-ban side, I think someone commented, it kind of hit me. They were like, we wouldn't let Russia own NBC during the Cold War. And that's a good point. Like, if a foreign government that's not exactly an ally of the state is collecting data on our citizenry, and you got to figure, I think over 100 million Americans are on TikTok. So it's like, who knows what they're collecting?
Oh my God, yeah.
They probably know more about you than anybody. And they're a foreign government. That's of concern. I could see, I'll say it, I could see how that's concerning to our government. And I think, that makes sense. On the flip side, I am skeptical that these people in government are suddenly so concerned for the citizens. And I wonder if Meta and other social media platforms are backing this in a large way because they can't really compete with TikTok.
Probably.
That's the thing too. It's like, are they trying to like censor us? Is it just another excuse for them to censor more voices?
Yeah, that was kind of, I said that to someone the other day, is I think TikTok, the one thing I'll say about it that's truly amazing is TikTok is the greatest platform, in my opinion, for free speech and for elevating everybody's voice ever to exist. We have a New Jersey news podcast with over 100 million video impressions because of TikTok.
Well, I wouldn't say it's for free speech. I feel like you have like X or Twitter for that. TikTok, we get shadow banned constantly for things we post.
Okay, yeah, so I guess you're right. Maybe not full on free speech because there are community guidelines of like
I can't say certain words.
You can't say
TikTok.
bad words, and there's like sexual stuff. Which that's fair. That's a good critique. But as far as the democratization of speech, so like everybody can have a voice. If I go on there tomorrow and I make a video that pops, it just pops. Like we've been critical of local government on here,
yeah,
and it goes viral on TikTok. We've criticized Governor Murphy. So I see both sides of this. I would love to know what is the thing is there is no private organization in the CCP. Like if you're in China and you're like, well, we're a private company. The government, I was listening to someone talk about this. The government has full access to anything of yours that they want. Like that's just the way that things operate in China. Like if they want to, if you have data, they can totally have access to it. That's just that's how they play over there. So It is concerning that a foreign government that doesn't have our best interest in mind is collecting data. I think it's funny how we live in a time where, there's previous generations that would have done crazy things in times of war, like, loose lips sink ships. Don't, when your wife goes to get her hair cut, like, do not talk about where your husband's stationed because that barber or that hairdresser could be a spy, right?
Yeah.
And nowadays it's like, and people were all gung ho about that. They're like, yeah, this is a common cause. And then it's like, hey, TikTok could be really bad for the safety of our nation. Everyone's like, like you just said, they already got my data anyway.
But also, like on the flip, if TikTok were to disappear tomorrow, I really could care less.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't affect me. We have Instagram Reels. We have YouTube Shorts. We have plenty of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like we don't need TikTok.
Instagram Reels are another world too. I mean, people are always like, post this on Instagram Reels. That's the comment on TikTok because
is it?
people say stuff on Instagram Reels. They're so aggressive with the stuff they say. So it's kind of crazy. I don't know what's going to happen with this, but Jimmy, what are your thoughts? You in favor of TikTok or are you against it?
I'm going to be honest. I'm against it.
Yeah.
I stayed off TikTok for as long as humanly possible. The day that I got TikTok was the day that we started this podcast.
Yes. Yeah, we're like, Jimmy, you have to like all the posts.
Yeah. And I just can't imagine being like a young kid and seeing some of this stuff on TikTok and just, I don't know.
It's also,
sometimes I get trapped in it and I'm like,
addicting.
It's not even addicting. It's just like toxic.
If you want toxic, go to Twitter. That's toxic right now.
I do think TikTok cracked the code for an addicting platform. The algorithm is so smart.
So easy. Just a scroll and it knows exactly what you want to watch.
And it figures you out in like a day.
Dude.
I wonder what the number of scrolls is before they're at like at 90% proficiency of understanding you. You know, like how many videos you have to swipe before they're like, oh, we have them at 90%.
Yeah.
It's probably like 100 videos, honestly.
Less. I watched 3 snowplow videos and done.
They're like DOT.
Yeah.
They're like, we figured him out. He's gonna.
I remember a while ago we were talking about how we had garbage truck videos. Like those are the big ones.
Yeah.
And it's back to my point, right? Like sometimes it's like I don't even want to be watching this because I know more of this is going to come up in my feed, right? Like, okay, this sparked my interest, but oh no, I watched a minute of it now. Now this is all I'm going to see.
So you hold down on the video and click not interested.
Oh, I didn't know you
And
could do that.
it actually
Is that TikTok or Instagram?
both.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, if you do it on TikTok, it actually responds.
Huh.
The TikTok algorithm is way more malleable than any algorithm I think ever.
Oh, I gotta try that.
Yeah, you just get all the junk out of your feed, and then you end up with just woodworking videos like me. Woodworking and car restoration videos.
Bearded dragons.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next story out of Maplewood, New Jersey. In Maplewood, New Jersey, a high school principal has been charged with assaulting a teen girl, and students are now coming to his defense.
The kids love this guy, apparently, and they're defending their principal, saying this guy was just trying to help.
Yeah.
He wasn't actually trying to assault a girl. So this story is crazy.
Well, what's going on in New Jersey schools? Last week, we had a story out of Bayonne where a 68-year-old math teacher broke up a fight, and in the process of doing so, assaulted one of the females. And all these females fighting, man. He broke up the fight, and he got charged, or he's being charged.
Same idea here.
Same thing in Maplewood with this 50-year-old principal breaking up a fight. And what is going on in our schools, man?
There's always been fights. And I bet in the past, teachers have gone into these fights and broken them up. But like back then, no one was really trying to sue everyone for every little thing they've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, look at this. The guy, I guess he tries to break up the fight, ends up pushing or hitting a girl somehow. And now he's being charged for it. This girl's lawyer is going to come for him. And, if he put his hand on her, he's screwed. But now, like, on the flip, parents, other students are like, this guy was just trying to help out.
Yeah, I think
it's so tricky.
Yeah, it says in Maplewood, New Jersey, a community is rallying behind their high school principal who is accused of assaulting a 16-year-old female student. Frank Sanchez, who turns 50 on Friday, is charged with second-degree child endangerment and simple assault. The principal of Columbia High School in Maplewood pleaded not guilty during a virtual appearance in the Superior Court of Essex County on Tuesday. Prosecutors said that Sanchez pushed, shoved, and pulled the former student in March 2023. The student's attorney, James Davis, said the student was subsequently suspended and then sent to another school. This student was minding her own business when she was confronted by Principal Sanchez, Davis reportedly said. That just sounds like a lie. I don't know any of these people.
Oh, I thought she was in a fight.
Yeah. But it goes on to say, it appears that students at Columbia High School are throwing their weight behind the principal, who has been on paid administrative leave since January. One student said to CBS New York that they're making shirts that say Free Sanchez on them.
That's amazing.
Another student said to ABC 7 Eyewitness News that two female students were fighting and wailing on each other in the hallway. A student in her senior year said the charges against Sanchez weren't fair because he was trying to help. Several other students said to various media outlets that they believe the charges were related to a fight. So it sounds like we're piecing things together here, but it sounds like there was a fight between two females.
Yep.
This guy breaks it up. And in the process of doing so, one of these girls gets thrown around a little bit and then goes to a lawyer to sue the school district. It just sounds like the typical, this is what's happening in our schools right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're like, oh, I could win this case easily. Let me get some money out of it. Let me screw this guy over.
He sounds like a good man.
Free Sanchez.
I don't know Sanchez. He could be a terrible guy, but he sounds to me like he's trying to do the right thing.
I mean, if you see the kids making shirts to defend their principal, I think that's a pretty good principle right there.
All I know,
you don't see that every day.
Is this is the collapse of our school system in New Jersey.
Yeah, just the way constant like fights and there's no way to fix it.
Constant fights and nobody comes to the defense of the authority in the situations when you need it. I mean,
well, that's why it's tricky because it's like you're talking about minors. So it's like, wait, if say you do push a minor, you do get into an altercation with a minor, there's like no defending that. Like you're going to get screwed in the court.
No, if a minor is breaking the law and assaulting another person, which is against the law, you don't just go and assault somebody.
Yeah.
Even as a minor, you're not allowed to go punch an old lady in the face.
Yeah.
And then someone steps in to try to resolve the situation. A judge should look at that and go, he was doing the right thing. We need to defend the principal. We need to defend teachers.
Yes.
I'm so sick of these entitled kids that go and run these schools and then their parents back them up and sue the district when their kid wasn't even behaving. What is going on? These rebellious, like horrible, rotten kids need to be put in line. And parents need to start backing up these administrators. Otherwise, guys, the jig is up. Schools are done. You better homeschool your kid or send them to a private school because it's over. This is Maplewood. This is a great school district. And this principal isn't, I mean, again, I don't know all the details. I only know what the article is telling us, but it sounds like we could fill in the gaps. It sounds like he was trying to break up a fight. This girl got, frustrated or upset that he got involved physically. And now, guess what? His life is probably going to be over. That's the way it goes.
Free Sanchez.
I don't know how people don't see that the lack of support for the proper authority. See, like
I think a lot of people see it. It's just like that majority is just never heard.
But parents got to see it. You know, like we can see it, but a parent needs to go, hey, why were you fighting in school? What is wrong with you? You don't fight in school, you know?
You got into a fight. Oh, your principal came and tried to break it up. He touched you? Oh, we're going to
Why were you in a fight?
We're going to sue him.
Yeah, who hurt your feelings? Like, let's
get some money.
It's like, to me, if you were getting bullied and then, as a result, you got into an altercation, okay, I get it. You know, that happens. Someone's pushing you around, you had enough, and you get into a fight. But a lot of these fights are like stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. And then as a result of these dumb fights, teachers got to get involved for the safety of the kids. This is like, I'm trying to remember, there's a movie this is reminding me of. I can't remember the movie, but someone is like, I don't know. What's the movie where someone's trying to do the right thing for someone else and they get sued?
Is it a popular movie?
I don't remember, man. It's going to drive me nuts.
Old movie? New movie?
Newer. It's just about like people being offended by even people helping them. It's like, again, we can only judge this based on the article we're reading. And if the article's accurate, that's what it sounds like went on here. And it's very upsetting because it's the demise of our school system.
I definitely think the guy's in the right if you have kids making shirts. And you have kids just like speaking out, being like, this guy is a great principal. Mm-hmm. But like you said, Josh, we don't know. But I just think that part is really interesting. Like, we should get some free Sanchez shirts in the studio.
Yeah, maybe we'll have him on. I mean, I doubt he's going to want to speak. He's a public school principal. But if something were to go south for him, we'll definitely have him on if he's willing to.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next story here, another school fight. Like, this is the craziness of our
A lot of
our
school
culture.
stories.
Watching the culture of New Jersey just collapse before our eyes. A New Jersey father was arrested after storming into a classroom and confronting a student he had accused of harassing his daughter by sharing photos.
This was kind of like a freaky video because this guy just walks into the classroom and just goes off on this kid.
At first, when I read this, I was like, that's awesome. Like, finally, we have a dad standing up for his daughter. Like, we need scary dads again.
Yeah.
Bring back scary dads, you know? Like, when we were kids,
Hashtag bring back scary dads.
when we were kids, dads were scary. It's like, you mess with my kids, you mess with my daughter, man, I'm going to come fight you. You're like, whoa. Like, nowadays, this new generation of dads, man, like, people have gotten soft. Let's just be honest. People are like, well, let's sit down and have a conversation about it. Like, no, we need to bring back boomer dads. You know, the ones that, like, you all had that kid on your Little League team where his dad was a little scary.
Yep.
And you're like, that poor kid. It's not good. I'm kind of joking. But at first, when I read this story, I was like, oh, cool, this dad's standing up for his daughter. But then it sounds like the daughter was causing drama and was lying maybe a little bit.
That's where it gets tricky. Like, we don't actually know who was telling the truth.
Yeah, it's a he said, she said, literally.
And this dad just
situation.
kind of just like stormed into this classroom and just blew it all up.
Which is not a good way to approach a situation like this.
I mean, yeah, like he's just going to get in trouble at the end of the day for doing it.
It says an angry dad has been arrested after he stormed into a high school classroom and confronted a student he accused of harassing his daughter. Aaron Thomas, 38, burst into the class at Paulsboro High School in New Jersey near Philadelphia Monday morning. The father from nearby Gibbstown arrived at the school around 11:30 a.m. to pull his daughter out of class, but then decided to confront the other student. There's a video of all this, by the way. Video recorded by another student showed Thomas confront a student and demand he apologize to his daughter, who was near the door. An affidavit of probable cause only explained the teenage girl was having problems with another student over photos that were shared. No further details about the nature of the photos was released. Discussion on social media claimed there was no bullying, and the girl told her father an exaggerated version of events.
Oof.
And here's what it says. Here's a quote. They was just airdropping regular pictures, and she started sending that white boy's family, so he did it back, and she told her dad that he started it. So I guess they were airdropping pictures of each other's family to one another.
Interesting.
That's the literal quote, by the way. She threatened to call her dad up there to fight him and did absolutely that, one woman wrote.
Wow.
So it sounds like at first I was rooting this dad on, and then I'm like, man, like maybe this girl is just rotten. You know, maybe she's causing an issue. Who knows what actually went down here?
And you know what happened? Police weren't called for like 3 hours. So I don't know what was happening in that school for 3 hours until police came.
So
the dude was there for a while.
He was there for 3 hours?
Yeah, before they even called the cops. So like the altercation happened in the classroom, whatever. So I guess maybe they pulled the dad out. Maybe they were talking to him because... But the article says that it took 3 hours until like police showed up. So I wonder if they were trying to have a conversation with the dad to calm things down. And then eventually he wasn't leaving. So that's where it kind of gets hairy.
Yikes. Well, yeah, another, wonderful day in the education system of New Jersey.
Did he touch a kid though?
I don't think he did. He just like got up in his face.
Okay.
And this kid, he was a lot bigger than the kid. So you think the kid would have been a little afraid, but
Kids are not scared of adults anymore.
yeah, they're not. That's a reality.
They think they're unstoppable. That's why I was like, oh, this older guy's coming
no, for sure.
yelling at me. Come hit me. See what happens. I'm going to sue you.
Did he say that?
No, I'm just saying that's the mindset. I
Yeah.
feel like some of these kids, they're fearless.
Yeah.
Because they know that's the case.
I was going to say, I missed that part of the video. But
You should watch the video for all you guys listening. It's kind of crazy. Lots of bleeps and bad words
it's
used in
just
the classroom.
wild to think that, I don't know. It just feels like everything's falling apart.
Well, it is. Well, that's the hard thing because it's like you want to believe your daughter, right? And like you want to hope that she's not like lying to you or exaggerating the story, but it sounds like she did exaggerate the story and it was part her fault as well. So no one actually knows the truth about what happened.
Either way, I'd say probably an inappropriate response for someone an outsider to come into a classroom and try to fight a kid.
Well, at the same time, though, if your kid was being bullied and the school is not doing anything to help, the school's not trying to end the bullying issue, and like you see your daughter actually hurting because she's saying she's getting bullied. This is from her. As a parent, don't you, like at some point you might freak out and be like, all right, the school's not doing anything. I'm going to step in.
Yeah, I mean, the way the headline made this sound was almost like this kid was, this is where my brain went to, just being a high school student, knowing what happens in high schools.
Yeah.
It sounded to me like maybe there were explicit photos of her.
That's what I thought
That
at
this
first,
kid
too.
was
Yeah.
sharing around, like he was trying to, embarrass her.
That would have been different.
And then dad showed up to be the hero. If that's the storyline here, I'm like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
Get in the kid's face. I don't care. He's going to go to jail or something, but worth it because this kid's going to learn a lesson about you can't just, you can't just get away with that kind of stuff. But it doesn't sound like that's what happened. It sounded like there was a he said, she said. And
It sounded like a little drama.
The photos weren't even explicit. It was just like if I airdropped a picture of your mom. Like it was like a your mom joke via airdrop is what it seemed like. Like, here, I have a picture of Josh's mom on my phone. Like that's what it sounded like. Which that stuff happens in high school. People are dumb.
Imagine we had airdrop in high school.
Oh,
Airdropping middle of the class memes.
dude, when I was in high school, this kid brought a wireless mouse to class. And
Everyone's blown away.
he plugged the USB into the teacher's tower.
That's
amazing.
awesome.
And she was like getting ready to retire. She was like mid to late 60s.
God.
And I'm telling you, this kid, all of class just kept moving the mouse.
See, those are the pranks I like.
And she was like, "What's wrong with my mouse today?" Like it was so great. He just kept,
Bring those kind of
he just
pranks
kept
back.
clicking on random stuff. It was so funny.
I
It
would
was
have brought the wireless keyboard in as well. Imagine typing things.
every time she goes to type, you just type other words.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was really funny. It was a good prank. All right, let's move on to the next story here. In Morris County, New Jersey, a road rage incident got nasty when a man's ear was bitten off.
An ear was taken in this incident
It was a little Mike Tyson style.
on 287.
It's kind of like Picasso. Didn't he like
No, you're thinking not of
Van Gogh?
Picasso.
Picasso.
A man's ear was bitten off before he and his alleged assailant were both charged with simple assault in an apparent road rage incident on Route 287 on Monday in Parsippany, police and court records confirm. A New Jersey State police officer responding to the scene on the south side of the interstate around 3:30 p.m. spoke to the 55-year-old Bridgewater man who said his ear had been bitten off by another man during a physical altercation that began with a verbal argument while they were stuck in traffic. The Bridgewater man said he exited his vehicle with a hammer and grabbed the other man through the vehicle window, resulting in both parties engaging in a physical fight. Yeah, so it goes on to say, I observed the man had suffered an injury resulting in a severed left ear, the officer wrote in his report. The other man, a 24-year-old Bitten resident, was located at a Parsippany gas station on Route 46 after leaving the scene in a blue sedan, the report states. Both men were treated for injuries at St. Clair's Hospital in Denville and later charged with simple assault. They were released pending municipal court dates in Parsippany scheduled for March 26th.
Simple assault for biting an ear off? That's kind of crazy.
I don't know what that means.
It's not that simple to me, but also old man brought a hammer out. He couldn't defend, he still got his ear bitten off. What's up with that?
Yeah, I think the hammer is going to get that guy in a lot of trouble because that's going to be a weapon.
Yeah, but what's up? I want to know how this fight looked because how does the guy came up right next to him and bit his ear?
I mean, I guess so.
I would have taken that hammer and whacked him immediately before he put his mouth on my ear.
This is one of those situations where you're like, why weren't people recording this?
Yeah, where were all the iPhones? Where were the dash cams? We need some evidence that this all went down. Like, this story is nuts, but we have no video of it.
Yeah, maybe video will come out, but what is going on where people are biting each other's ear off on the highway?
A simple fist fight would do the job.
Not in this America, man.
That's disgusting. I wouldn't want to bite someone's ear off.
I mean, it depends on how...
Think about the blood and...
Listen, here's what I will say. We've all been at the merge from 24 on to 287.
It's bad.
That might be where this happened. Road rage, that's Parsippany, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Somewhere around there.
it's around there?
If there's anything I know about 287, the 24 merge on the 287 is enough to make me want to bite somebody's ear off. Every time I go through it, I'm like, if you got out of your car now, I'd bite your ear off. You're so
disgusting.
ridiculous. The way people cheat, there's like, look, I used to be a good guy. I would sit in the lane, and then I gave up on being a good guy because everybody would just cut me off. So I'm like, why am I going to wait 40
the
minutes?
You're the problem.
Well, I don't go to the front and cut, but I'm like, halfway up, that's where I get in at a reasonable distance.
Please.
But the people that couldn't at the last second, I try to purposely crash my car into them.
Yeah, I'm always like pulling up ahead.
Like-
I'm not letting anyone in. No.
Yeah, no cheaters. No
But at the
cheaters
same
allowed.
time, I'm waiting all the way in the back. I'm taking my time.
You're gonna,
I'm not
you're gonna
cutting
get in the
in.
line way back by the Morristown 1A, 2B exit.
I'm following the rules. Heck yeah.
No, because I think you can get closer than that. There's no reason to get in that middle lane when you're by the Morristown exit. That's where I used to do it. Now I go like a little bit further up. I'm not in the last, I wouldn't say I'm even within 1,000 feet of the exit. I'm pretty far back, 2,000 feet of the exit. I'm pretty far back. I think those people should be tried and sent to jail. But there's a balance there, I think, with 280, that exit. Because some people, they wait till the last second and you're like, you're just a degenerate. And there's some people that they get in late at the beginning. I'm like, you know what? There's a balance.
I just want to know, like, with these guys, I guess they were exchanging words first, and then they both got out to fight. And then, but at the same time, the 23-year-old, if he sees this 55-year-old come with a hammer at him, what, did you think he just, like, threw himself at him and just started, like,
Biting.
biting? I don't know. Full zombie mode over here?
I don't know, man.
That's weird. I wish there was some witnesses, because you got to think there were a ton of people watching. Where were the phones? Because you're in
knows?
traffic on 287. That's very weird. But yeah, people get heated way too easily in the Garden State.
Well, let's see.
And now you both get charged.
Parsippany, New Jersey. Yeah, that's Parsippany is where the 46 287 intersection is at. I get. Oh no,
That's 46.
Oh, 46. I'm thinking 287 24, right? Mm-hmm. Would that technically be Parsippany? Like how? Yeah. It looks like Parsippany's right there.
Somewhere along that
Listen,
stretch.
man, I guarantee you that 24 to 287 merge had something to do with this. I guarantee you that's what caused the road
People
rage.
are just, people have no patience on the road, man.
Yeah, people freak out. So, you gotta be careful in Jersey. Road rage is crazy.
You might get your ear bitten off if you're not safe.
When I was in high school, I had a driver's ed teacher, and he said, you need to be careful in New Jersey. There was an incident a few years back where a guy got out of his car to fight another guy. The other guy gets out and pulls a crossbow out of his trunk and shoots the guy, and he died.
Oh my God.
And I'll never forget that. He's like, it's never worth it. You don't know who you're dealing with.
I'll yell at someone if someone like starts, chirping at me, but it would never get to the point where I'm getting out of my car because I just don't know what that person's going through or what they have in their car. People are nuts.
I'm trying to find the crossbow thing to see if it's true.
I wouldn't doubt it.
This has happened multiple times. Oh my gosh. NJ crossbow road
Yeah,
rage.
I didn't realize that people carry crossbows on the reg.
I mean, it seems like it's something that frequently happens during road rage incidents. You just never know.
Or just a casual crossbow.
Well, maybe you're coming from hunting and you're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm just coming from hunting, I'm just driving home, got my
wanna
crossbow on me.
cut me off. Guess what? I'm gonna get my crossbow out.
That's the thing. It's never worth getting out of your car to fight someone because that person might just be a crazy and they might have a crossbow on them and you might just die there for no reason at all.
Death by crossbow has got to be one of the worst
Yeah.
weapon deaths.
I would take that. It sounds cooler than like death by hammer.
Yeah,
It also
that's actually-
it would be a little, I think, better. Hammer. I don't want to get hammered. That would stink.
Yeah, you're just like, remember Kai, the hitchhiker?
Yeah.
not
It's
good.
like, smash.
No.
Right in your face, man. That would stink. Okay. We have 2 more stories here, and then we're going to wrap it up. 3 skeletal remains were found on a lot in Wall Township while a construction crew excavated the property.
Not 1, not 2, 3 skeletal remains. What is happening in Wall?
3 dead people, man.
Do we know what was there prior to this? Like, what was this lot?
I think it was just just a dirt lot. I don't know if at some point there was a structure there. Who knows? But it says possible human remains were found in a vacant lot in Wall Township on Tuesday. Sources told News 12 New Jersey that 3 sets of skeletal remains were found during an excavation on Nerumsum Road. Law enforcement officers would not provide many details. Police officers are on the scene guarding the area. A spokesperson for Monmouth County Prosecutor's Office says that the office is involved in an investigation of the 1100 block of Nerumsum Road, but did not provide any details. So we don't have the details here. What we know, as of now, is that 3 skeletons
Found.
found while digging.
A little sketchy.
A little bit sketchy.
Were they trying to build upon an Indian burial ground by any chance?
Or was this an old graveyard from hundreds of years ago?
Or did somebody commit a murder?
Can we get this on the map? Let's get this Addy. Let's see where the neighborhood was or what this area looks like, Josh.
Yeah, let's get Narumson Road going here. Narumson Road.
So it's like your just average neighborhood.
It looks like small town life. I'm wondering if this is it right
Do
here.
bottom right. Let me see it.
This looks like the vacant lot.
See. Okay. Yeah, it looks like just your average everyday neighborhood. When do you think these bodies were buried?
That was going to be my question. How long have they been there for? And it's really interesting that you can figure a lot of that stuff out.
How's that?
You can like carbon date them or something.
Carbon dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do with the dinosaur bones and stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And
But
it's just like-
humans, it's probably easier.
it's like, oh, this has been here for 5 years, or oh, this has been here for 100 years.
So the only vacant lot that could figure, looking on Google Maps, Josh Chomek, because you're next to me, was that one I just looked at right over here.
Was that near the 1100 or?
This is on the 1100 block. This is
Wow.
the only thing I could consider. It looks like a vacant lot. And there are 3 bodies here. That's creepy, man. Very creepy.
Are they for sure that they're human skeletons?
It said it appeared to be human skeletal remains.
That's wild.
Yeah. I mean, there's some pretty distinctive bones in a human.
Yeah, we're going to be following up on this story because I'm very curious. Like, hey, these guys could have been buried there like last year. Like in the middle of the night, no one would have known because no one's just randomly checking a vacant lot.
Well, you'd have to decompose the flesh. No, like that takes time.
Decomposes on the ground.
How long would that take? Isn't that years, you think?
No, I think
No.
it's
Quick?
quicker than you would
It's
think.
way quicker.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, there's no flesh left?
Yeah.
But you
Because
have
what?
to.
Because water and...
Yeah. There's bugs underground that'll eat you.
But they must have buried the bodies naked because they would have found clothes, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
If there's no clothes and just the bones, the bodies were buried naked,
cool pair of Levi
Correct?
jeans.
right? Because the clothes would stay there, right?
Well, I think the clothes would take longer to decompose
Yeah.
than
The flesh.
So, we'll have to wait to see what the coroner says here. Get a coroner's report on these.
Do you think that'll take a while to come out?
This is probably going to be a story that in a year we're going to go, oh, remember the 3 skeletons?
Yeah.
Figure out what happened. It's not going to be next week.
Yo. If you guys had to guess, you guys think it was like within the past 10 years?
I have no idea. No clue.
Or you guys think this is like a 50-year thing? Like it was there
I think, I'm going to
forever ago.
I'm going to place it at 1972.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to say this is a long
It was a
time.
mob hit?
It was a
Miss
lot easier for people to disappear back then.
Yeah. In the 70s in New Jersey, there was weird cultic activity all the time, too.
Yeah.
Like, look up the Watchung Reservation in the 70s. There were, like, satanic sacrifices of humans happening in New Jersey. Like, what was going on in the 70s? These people were absolutely sick puppies.
Yeah, it's kind of, you're right. I feel like it would have happened back then.
But you never know.
But also,
Could be-
I don't know when the last time a home was on this lot, so.
Look, unfortunately, things tend to happen, and you'd hate to be caught in the
Or
crossfire.
there could have been a house there and someone buried the people or killed the person in their home, buried them right there.
Yeah.
And they didn't know.
Yeah.
So a lot of things could have happened here. We'll keep you guys updated. I'm very curious about it.
All right. Last story is still negative, but a little bit more lighthearted than the rest. But it's kind of interesting to consider, especially nowadays with the cost of everything rising, people driving, gas is more expensive than ever. Listen to this one. A Camden, New Jersey gas station was found to have 78% water in their gas, leaving cars stranded.
Cars would go get gas at this gas station in Camden, and then they were getting stranded. They thought the gas was contaminated. No, there's 78% water in it.
That's
Bro,
not good.
They found a renewable energy source.
You're paying all this money for water.
Yeah, they found a way where, like, look, we want to save money on gas. We want to burn less gas. Let's sprinkle some water in there.
Oh my gosh, dude. It was the second time this gas station shut down too.
It's kind of crazy to think, like, who does this? Who would do this?
I mean, it's
think
a leak. It
think
wasn't a
it's-
person.
Oh, it was a leak?
Yeah, from the storms, I think there was like a crack in the pipe and
Oh,
there were some
because
rainstorms and the water leaked into the fuel.
this is a thing that has happened where gas stations try and like rip people off. So they will mix water with their gas.
Yeah, but 78%. Like, that's just
They're
way too
saying-
noticeable.
They're saying floodwater got into it, but I don't know.
You never know, though. Yeah, it could have been someone actually doing it. That could be a cover-up.
We have been getting a lot of rain, though.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So the Conoco gas station in Camden, New Jersey, that left drivers stranded after fueling up their tanks was found to have 78% water in its supply, according to the City of Camden Division of Weights and Measures. The Division of Weights and Measures released its findings on Conoco gas station after they took 2 samples of the gas per their report. Sample 1 contained 63.96 water, and sample 2 contained 78.64% water. The statement provided by the Division of Weights and Measures said they suspect 18 drivers were impacted by the contaminated gas. Imagine you really hate your car. You're like, I need a way out. I need a way out. And then you just happen to get bad gas and your insurance has to give you a new car.
Yeah, at that point, like, is your car done?
It has to be an insurance thing. You did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I know somebody that
You know a guy?
they were really in a
He knows a guy.
bad position financially. And they had young kids. They told me this story. This is a hilarious story. And they were like, you know, their car needed a new catalytic converter. And it was going to be like $2,000. And they were like looking for a miracle. They were like, well, I need a miracle in my life. I cannot afford a new catalytic converter. And they said that night someone came and stole the catalytic converter off their car, and insurance had to give them a new one.
Interesting.
How amazing is that? And this is
Someone stole it.
no. This is not a person that would do anything. I can promise you that. But I was dying laughing because the way they told me, it was like the most unbelievable.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
They just couldn't afford it. And then someone, because that's the thing, people go around and steal them. They stole it off their car. And
Yeah.
kind of amazing how that works. Yeah. But yeah, I'd imagine like if I had a car that I really hated and I just happened to get water in my gas, I'd be like, oh, you know, that's kind of
Yeah.
bright side. But it said this is the second time this winter drivers were left stranded after fueling up at this gas station located at 1901 Admiral Wilson Boulevard. In January 2024, they faced a similar problem after floodwater got into gas tanks during a heavy precipitation. So it sounds like these people got to seal up their gas tank.
Not
a
for
little
real,
better.
dude. Seal up the cracks.
So the gas station owner was fined $25,000 according to the Division of Weights and Measures. More than a dozen cars whose owners fueled up at this gas station specifically over the weekend had problems and broke down on Sunday.
Dude, that's crazy.
So, yeah, it's kind of a wild situation.
Do you guys remember that story where that apparently that guy there's a guy who invented a way where cars can run off water, and then all of a sudden he was found to commit suicide.
It's
So it's kind of, you know, a guy found a way, but you know,
well, more than that,
they killed him.
More than that, he said that they're going to kill him. He said they're going to kill me, you know, because of what I've invented.
Yeah,
and
they did.
He died in a restaurant, I think.
It's crazy.
Like they poisoned him. Yeah.
So there's a way.
I used to not buy into that stuff. I used to be like, that's crazy. Yeah, okay. And now I'm like, yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, 100%.
You know how much of our economy would be toppled if cars switched to being run by water?
Bro.
It would destroy everything.
Yeah.
Like it would really cause some real big issues. A lot of oil, auto manufacturers, everybody would be in trouble. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think these cars ran on water, Josh Chomick. I think they ran on gas.
Yes. Yeah, 100% because they all broke down. So it would make sense.
Yeah. But that's it. That's our last story of the day.
Pretty good lineup.
Yeah, I felt good about that. I feel like that was a good week of news.
Yeah, I love stories like that. Got a little good, a little bad. Mostly bad, but
A little ugly.
yeah, nothing too brutal. Just an ear bitten off.
Jimmy, what do you think?
It's gotten worse.
Any thoughts on the news this week?
This was one of the more crazy lineups we've had in recent times.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm going to be just straight up with the listeners. I was trying to find a 7th story because I try to do 7 stories that we have a post every week. But we had all these great stories, but like I couldn't find a good 7th story. That's why we didn't do one. But like, because like every other story is the same.
Yeah, you start to just, it's so redundant.
I don't want to keep doing the same old stories on the Garden State. That's why, like, you know, we'll do 6 stories. I know some people might want more. but that's the reason why.
And like, how many times do we want to talk about a school fight at this point?
I know. Like, I did it because these were very different.
Yeah.
And, like, kids are standing up for their principal or dad shows up. So it was a different type of story.
Yeah.
But, like, any other school fight story, I'm not adding to it. And people get mad at us because we're not covering certain stories. But I'm like, dude, there's been this same story 10 different times. Like, we can't just keep saying the same thing every single time.
Yeah. Well, it gets redundant, and we got to mix it up. And on the topic of that body that went missing, there was one thought I had on the bodies underground.
Yeah, the skeletons.
Yeah, we haven't used our soundboard in a bit. I did have one thing I wanted to say.
Gabago.
Yes.
That could be slightly related to what happened down there, but we'll have to find out.
Yeah, well, that's why we said in the 70s, a lot of that stuff was going down.
Yeah.
The mob was alive and well.
Well, hold on. I didn't say the mob.
Okay. You
But-
just did a gabagool sound effect, so I just
Yeah, I
figured.
did. Listen, I didn't say anything. The board spoke.
Gabago.
I didn't say what could or couldn't be happening. I just,
You got to be careful what you say on this
I
podcast,
keep
Josh.
leaning on that button.
You got to watch out what you're saying on this podcast.
Well,
Everyone's listening.
okay.
You never know who's listening. The mob.
Yeah, they could be. I really hope not, because I have plans this week I really want to get to.
What are your plans?
Just, we got to do some cleaning, got to do the laundry and
Spring cleaning?
Yeah, we're going to open all the windows,
When's spring start? March 21st?
Yeah.
When's the official first day of spring? Is that this week?
It's next week. It's Tuesday. No, it's
Next Thursday?
Thursday.
Oh, wow. Cool. Wow. We're in the last week of winter.
Yeah.
It's
But
huge.
we're in meteorological spring already.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's not spring yet.
I thought as a weather nut like yourself, you would go by the meteorological spring.
Dude, I'm just going by the official dates. They say March 21st is spring. I'm going by that.
Hey, what do you guys think about this eclipse that's happening?
Oh, my parents are freaking out.
Are they going to go see it?
Well, they went to the one last time down in Charleston. Because we only had a partial here. They had a full down Charleston, so they made
Yeah.
the trip.
Well, I don't follow that kind of stuff. What's going on?
We're going to get like a huge eclipse this in April.
Full eclipse.
Yeah. Also, Jimmy, something you'd appreciate. Last night, I saw the International Space Center.
Yeah.
What?
That's awesome.
I was with somebody.
Use a telescope?
No, I was with a group. You could just see it. It looks like a star. It slowly goes across the sky.
How did you see it though?
So the person I was with had one of those star apps, and
Yeah.
the whole night they kept using it. I didn't even know why. And then they were like, "Oh, look, there it is!" And then we were all like, "What group of us look up?" And we see this like glowing thing slowly moving across the sky. And he's like, "It's the International Space Center."
What?
And I'm like, "It looks like it's moving so slow, though." And he goes, "It's moving. I think it moves 17,000 miles an hour." And he goes, "15 minutes ago, it was above Hawaii."
wow.
So
My dad was super into that for a while, and like every night he'd like call us outside, and he'd
Really?
be like, "Okay, it should be coming." Then we look out on the horizon, and then you
cool.
see it.
dude, it glows.
It's awesome.
And it's like 350 feet long, which is pretty big.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're seeing it glow like a star,
Yeah,
How far is it from the Earth?
I think it's just outside our atmosphere, isn't it?
yeah, it's just in orbit somewhere.
I mean, 350 feet, and it's got to be miles up. Like that'd be what, 20 miles up? How high is the International Space Center? When I put it like that, it's only 20 miles away, maybe, because 20 times 5
254?
is. Oh my God. What? 254 miles. I don't know why I thought 20 miles up.
What's 254 miles in feet?
Times 5,000. I mean, I don't know. Let's do the math real quick. That's 1.2 million feet away from Earth. And it's glowing. It looks like a star.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy. I guess it's reflecting the sun, and it's very bright.
Wait, but about the eclipse, when's that happening?
April.
Is this when it's daytime and the sun turns black?
Yeah, essentially.
Is it like a true eclipse, though? Like, is it going to get dark for a bit?
I don't think we're like in the direct path here by any means. I think you
Yeah,
have to
where do
go
we have
like
to go?
Western Pennsylvania somewhere.
Oh.
Maybe Ohio. I feel like
Are your parents going to go?
I don't know. I'd be surprised if they don't do something.
Oh, it's where people make those box glasses and stuff.
I want a true eclipse where everything gets dark for like 2 minutes.
But it doesn't really totally get dark. It gets like dim.
It gets dim. It doesn't get black.
I want it to get like
dim.
I want it to get like really kind of.
Didn't that happen like a
hazy.
few years ago?
Yes, in 2017.
Here.
They always
Yeah.
say this is the last one we're going to see for 1,300 years. Like it's always like
Yeah.
it's always like they overhype it, and then 3 years later it happens again. You're like, oh wow,
What's the difference between a solar and lunar eclipse?
One, the sun goes in front.
Oh,
no,
and then the moon.
no, hold on. One, the Earth
Blocks.
blocks the sun
Yes.
from the moon. Correct.
Sounds right.
We perfectly align with the sunlight. No.
I don't.
Hold on. Let me get this right because I'm going to sound because I'm really stupid.
I'm asking the two guys who have laptops in front of them.
No, I wanted to get it right. I went to public school, man. Okay, so yeah, a lunar eclipse is when the Earth perfectly blocks the beam of sunlight from the sun, and the moon turns red.
Nice.
Blood moon. And then a solar eclipse is when the moon perfectly blocks sunlight.
sun, yeah.
And we just get the little haze of the donut of the
Cool.
sun, the outer edges.
Yep.
And then there's one situation where the sun, what I was going to say before, goes in front of the moon, and that's called the apocalypse. So we all die.
The sun goes in front of the moon.
Yeah. Because it's a bazillion degrees, and then we just vaporize.
We vape.
At least
We vape.
at least it would happen like that. It would happen immediately where like we won't even feel it though. That's fine. Like one day we just
Imagine-
No,
disappear.
as the sun would be getting closer, you'd be like, "Oh, it's getting a little warm here."
It'll get so hot so quickly, I feel, or we'll burn up like that. It would be like 10 seconds of suffering, right? That'd be crazy. Imagine
maybe.
like, wow.
I would probably go
I
in
don't
a
want to
pool.
see that.
I'd probably jump in a pool.
What, boiling water?
Yeah, then you'd boil to
Ugh.
death.
No, I'd
You're crazy.
I'd go underwater until it got hot enough to get out and just scorch myself. All right, guys, this is going directions it didn't need to go. Let's just end the podcast here, and we'll get back next week.
Cool.
Any closing thoughts?
Happy late birthday.
Thanks,
happy late
boys.
birthday.
30s. I'm in my 30s, feeling good,
So old.
and excited to be 80.
I'm the only one on this podcast that's in their 20s. I'm just a kid.
You're just a child, Jim.
And
Just a baby.
and life is a highway.
Yeah. All right. Hey, everybody. We'll see you next Friday. Thanks for listening to the Garden State Podcast. The Garden State Podcast is brought to you by McDonald's.
Buy some merch.
Buy some merch.
New hats and
thegardenstate.com.
flags. Check them out, thegardenstate.com. Thank you guys so much.
We'll see you next Friday. Later.
Bye.
Later.
You're listening to the Garden State. The Dirty Jers.